Hello, welcome to the end of the year. We're hitting all of my current favorites for the year 2024. These are all items that I have been reaching for and keep reaching for and like the way that they perform. And as you know, things change and move, and you like one product one day and then you don't like it the next day, and then there's something new that comes on the market that you like better. It's ever changing, but these are the current products that like I said, keep reaching for. So we're gonna jump right in to all my favorites. I tried to tame my brows down just a little bit, but I think that they just made them worse. We're just gonna roll with it. We're gonna go in order as to how you put it on the face loosely. So we're gonna start with moisturizer. I bet you can guess what moisturizer is going to be my favorites. If you have followed me for any amount of time, that is the Drunk Elephant Lala Retro Whipped Cream. I'm almost out, but I love this. It's got a very thick, creamy texture. I have very sensitive skin, and so this does not like clog my pores or anything like that. It just melts kind of into the skin and really hydrates the skin. I didn't do a very good job rubbing this in, but beautiful, beautiful product. It is a little bit up there in price, but I do kind of tend to spend more on my skincare and then tend to sway more towards the drugstore on actual makeup. So I think that it's worth it because if your skin underneath the makeup looks good, then the makeup's gonna look even better, right? And two, you want to elongate your youth for as long as possible. So if you're using like a great moisturizer with tons of great ingredients in it, then we're fighting fine lines, all that kind of stuff. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying. I just realized that all my products you could see over here on my table, I had set them all out and like categorized them. You could see them. So I just gave away the secret if you were paying attention, which clearly I wasn't. Next up, another product I'm sure you can guess my sunscreen is the e.l.f. Sun Touchable sunscreen. This is very affordable. I put it on every day. It's got this like gel-like texture that I love. It's invisible. You cannot see it. It completely rubs into the skin and it blurs. And I love blurring property. Like, let's blur away everything that we can. You know what I'm saying? So I love this. I also love the Super Goop, which this is the knockoff for the Super Goop. But this is like $14. I'll put the price on the screen. The Super Goop is like $40. This is it. Now we're going to jump into primers. I'm going to start with the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I really like this primer. I didn't really love the solid one. It was like a weird texture and like didn't do much for me. This version, I really like. It's very liquidy. It definitely blurs pores. It has like a fresh scent, which is nice. It's very, very clear, but it's definitely very blurring and it's affordable. So we love this one. Next up is the Milk Makeup Pore Eclipse Primer. I loved and loved and loved this primer before I found the next two primers that I'm going to talk about. It's got this like lotiony texture and it doesn't keep you like matte, but it definitely helps mattify you. So like if you don't have super, super greasy skin like me, then this is like perfect. Like I love this because like some of my shine still shows through, but it still like helps control the oils. Really, really like this. This is a standout product. And I think if I remember correctly, it's got some like niacinamides in it or like some skincare ingredients that are good for your skin. So I like that as well. Next up, these two primers have stolen the show for me. I'm going to talk about the One Size Secure the Sweat Primer. As you can see, I've used a healthy amount of this. I do have to say, like the lid does get a little gunky, which is kind of not great. We'll look past that. So again, this is kind of like a lotiony texture. This definitely reminds me of the Milk Makeup. And I think it has skincare ingredients too. I didn't do a very good job rubbing that in, but as you can see, it's like very clear. It's got like a blurring factor to it as well. So I really like this. If you want to be matte, then you want the One Size Oil Sucker Mattifying Primer. This, you have to be careful. You can't use too much because it will start getting like a little weird on your skin. It's got this like interesting texture to it. And this one, like normally like this one and this one, I will like press into my oily areas. This one you definitely want to rub. So I put way too much on my hand, but it is like a clear formula. This one you want to rub because it will leave like a little bit of like a chalky white cast if you don't really like rub it into the skin. But yeah, this will keep you pretty matte. I, again, would not use this every single day unless you are just like a sweaty hot mess. I use this more during the summer or for like special events, things like that. Or if I'm like going out at night and I want to stay like more mattified, that type of thing. But I don't know if I would use this every single day. If you have dry skin, do not use this. Do not use this. Like you could probably use these two if you have drier skin, and still get away with it. But this one, don't do it. Okay, now we're going to get into foundation. We're going to start with the L'Oreal True Match. This is the new formula. I have the shade N5 Neutral Medium. This is such a nice foundation. It is like hydrating. I think it's got like hyaluronic acid in there. It is not like an overly coveragey formula, and I like more of like a light, like just second skin, like kind of refining everything. And this is definitely that foundation. It's got a really nice watery thin texture, but it packs a little bit of coverage, and it just feels so nice on the skin because it's got that like skin caring ingredients in it. So it just feels really, really, really nice on the skin. Next one is a foundation that I found kind of later in the year. It's the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Foundation. I have the shade Buff Bisque 366C. Everybody complained about the spatula. I kind of like the spatula. It's like bendy. You can just swipe it all over the face. This is such a beautiful formula. It is not heavy on the skin. It is literally like just your skin, but better. And it's got such a thin texture, but it still lets your skin show through a little bit. It's not overly matte, but it definitely has like more of a matte finish to it. But I just absolutely love it. It looks so nice on the skin. Like just like you can't even tell that you're wearing anything really. And I just love it. I'm just so into it. And it's like $5. Like what? How can this foundation be so good and it's $5? I don't get it. Now we're going to jump into concealers. The first one we're going to talk about is the L'Oreal True Match Serum Concealer. I got the shade Medium N5. I love this concealer because it is, again, thin in texture, just like the foundation, but still packs a little bit of coverage, like a lot of coverage. But still, it doesn't look like cakey, and it's very moisturizing because it has 1.5% hyaluronic acid, caffeine, so it's got that like skincare ingredients again. So it just feels so nice on the skin. Loving this, and again, I think this is like $14. Next, we're going to talk about the Essence Keep Me Covered Concealer. This is $5, and again, it's a light concealer. I think you're seeing a trend here. I like a light formula with just a little bit of coverage. I get the shade. Oh yeah, I think the shade came off of here, so I don't know what shade this is. I'm sorry, but it's got a light texture to it, but look at that coverage. But it's so light on the skin, and it's $5. Like, I love it. Next is another drugstore concealer that we're going to talk about, the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This has been around forever. I tried this before. I don't remember really liking it, and then I tried it again, and I'm like, this is it, girl. This is it. I get the shade 22 Wheat. Again, nice thin texture, but packs some coverage. Like what? I would say this is a little bit more full. This is like a medium coverage concealer. Very inexpensive, but we got some coverage. Another medium-ish coverage concealer that I just found later in the year is the Tarte Creaseless Creamy Concealer. I really like this. This has like a blurring property to it that I'm in love with. I have the shade 35N. I just love that this has that like blurring property to it. Again, it's more of like a medium coverage. It's a little bit thicker in texture and in coverage, but she blurs. And she's hydrating. Like I definitely am leaning more towards hydrating products because we're getting old. We don't want anything settling in creases and lines and looking chalky. Okay. The last concealer we're going to talk about is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever Glow. Again, this is a hydrating concealer. Definitely light to medium coverage. As you can see, it's like a little bit more watery. But again, I like that. Again, feels really nice on the skin. See, as you can see, my hand is like poking through, so it's definitely like a lighter coverage, but it definitely has like that hydrating property that I like. It's not like radiant, but it gives you like a hydrating, like healthy glow. And if you're just looking for just like a touch of coverage, you know, you still want your skin to show through, this is a good one. Okay, now we're going to talk about powders, and I have a lot of powders here because I like powder products. So strap in. First, we're going to talk about my tried and true favorite, the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Hybrid Powder Foundation. This is in the shade 220. This is my favorite for under the eyes. Right here, I use it as concealer right here and then here in the forehead to kind of like highlight a little bit, and then here around the nose. This has such a unique, my chair is all messed up. This has such a unique texture, like it's powder, but it's very, very silky. I don't know if I've ever used it like all over my face. I bet you could and it would look really nice, but I just like, because this is like, I would say a little bit more like a medium leaning, more full coverage powder. And, you know, I like that light look, but I like to hide my under eyes, the bags under my eyes. So that's what I use this for. Love, 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 love this. This is like the fourth or fifth one that I've gone through. And as you can see, I'm already hitting pan again. Next one, Maybelline hits the powders out of the park. The Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. This is in light medium, and I also have medium, which I use during the summer. This powder has like a thickness to it, which is nice. Like I will use this as like foundation, right? If I just want to do like a light dusting of this all over the face to like even me out. And this helps keep me matte throughout the day. Like this is one of the only, like powders are supposed to keep you matte, but this is one of the only powders that like actually keeps me matte throughout the day without having to like touch up. It's incredible. And you get so much product in this packaging, and I just love it because it just like gives you that like evenness that I so crave, but like lightness, like you can't really tell that you're wearing anything. And again, it keeps you matte. So like out of the park. And too, like if I do like my liquid cream bronzer and then some like concealer in the center of the face, and I just want like a powder with like a little bit of extra coverage to just kind of like glaze over everything, like this is a great powder for that. I can't say enough good things about this. I don't think I would use this to necessarily like set foundation because it might look a little heavy unless you're really going for that like glam look, because it's got that like extra punch of coverage to it. Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder. We know that I love this. It's $5. I love to use this to brighten up when I have like a little bit too dark of foundation like I did today. I use it to like help me brighten up a little bit. It is like kind of stark, kind of bright, so like that's why I like to brighten up with it. It doesn't keep you like matte throughout the day, but I really like this. Is $5 and I think it does a great job of like just lifting. Makeup Forever HD. This is the Ultra HD loose powder. This is like will suck the life out of your skin, but I like that. And I also use this as brightening as well because it is so stark white. It's supposed to be a translucent, but it does give you like a little more of that like lift and brightness to it, and then also like sucks all the moisture out, so like you are set. On me, because I have really oily skin, like it won't keep me set all day, but like initially that initial lay down, like it looks like really snatched. So I like this quite a bit. Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation. This I do not like as a powder foundation. This I like as to set things because it is a little like chalky, but it's great setting powder. See, it's like a little chalky, but it's actually a great setting powder for like setting like a liquid foundation. This is actually really nice. This is in the shade Natural Suede, and it doesn't really give you that extra coverage that a powder foundation typically would, because I didn't like this as a powder foundation because it didn't give any coverage. So like it's just more of like just a powder, which I appreciate in that sense, but I think they marketed this wrong and they should have just made this like a setting powder instead of a foundation. Last powder is the Juvia's Place Powder Foundation. This is in the shade Cabo. I got too dark of a shade. So what I use this for is bronzer because I really liked this color for bronzer on my skin. And it was really beautiful on this bronzer on the skin. I love this packaging. It's got like a magnetic closer thing. Like it just feels very elevated. I like that. I can't remember what I thought of this as a powder foundation. I can't remember. I don't think that I like overly loved it, but because I got too deep of a shade, I did love this as a bronzer. Next up are our bronzers of the year. We're going to start with a Hot Mess Express. This is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder. This is in the shade Natural. I'm not going to swatch this. As you can see, it is a disaster. I dropped it and broke it, which is my worst nightmare. But this is only $5 for this huge pan, which I love that. It smells like coconut. It smells so good. I really like this bronzer. It's not super pigmented, so like you can build this bronzer, but it's not going to go on like swipey. So that's why I liked this as well. I probably will buy another one of these because I love how big the pan is and you get so much use out of it. And it just, honestly, it smells so good. I was going to throw this away and I was like, oh, I need to include this in the video. Like it's literally about to fall out all over me. I'm going to throw it away right now. Another powder bronzer, the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer. This is in the shade Medium. I didn't initially like this bronzer because I thought it was like too pigmented. But now I really like this. It's very smooth. It gives me just the right amount of coverage that I want. And I can't say enough good things about this. A little bit goes a long way. So this is really like, I was using it every single day and I barely even touched the surface of this. So I think that it's a good purchase. And I really like this. I can't believe, like I was saying in the beginning, like products you try in it for a first time and you don't like them, and then all of a sudden you like them now. So yeah, this is a really good one. This is like my go-to powder bronzer right now. Okay, we're heading into the creams. Of course, an old classic is the Fenty Cheeks Out Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Macchiato. This is nice and creamy, and it's kind of hard to screw this up. Like it blends out really nicely. It is a little bit up there in price, but I do have a dupe for you coming up next. Okay, in my opinion, this is a great dupe, the Milani Cheek Kiss. This is in the shade 110 Hey Honey. Similar texture to the Fenty, nice and creamy. And again, like, looks really nice, blends out really nice on the skin. It's hard to overdo it with this one. I would say it's a little bit easier to overdo it with this than this, but still, like, this is like a fraction of the cost. I'll put the price on the screen, but we can work with this for a fraction of the cost. Okay. A bronzer that I recently found and fell completely in love with is the Tarte Sculpt Tape. Oh, I love this. It's so good. I was skeptical when I swatched it. It's got the sponge tip applicator, which I do not like because it's hard to control the products coming out. Like right now, I put way too much on my hand. This is in the shade Cool Bronze. I'm just gonna wipe a little bit off my hand before I swatch it for you guys. But look, it blends out like a dream, and it looks like a very sheer here, but on the face, it looks absolutely incredible. It is up there in price, I know that, but it's so good. Like, you just put it on and it just gives you like this dimension and this warmth and this like, it's so good. I'm so into this. I just wish it had a different applicator because it's a little bit hard to control. Last bronzer, I just reviewed this, the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Stick. I love this. It looks so good. It does not swatch the best. It does not swatch the best. It looks really oily, but it blends out so nice on the face. I have it right now. Like, just gives you structure. It does not swatch the best. But let me tell you, for $5, this is incredible. Like, it gives you the best color, the best dimension. Love. $5. Yes. Yes, all day long. Yes. All right, now we're going to talk about lip products. First, we're going to start out with the e.l.f. Lip Reviver Lip Oil. You know I only do clear glosses, so these are all going to be clear. This looks really nice on the lips. It's very hydrating, and I think it's like $6. If you like color, this is going to probably give you the best, like, lightest wash of color on the lips. Like, if I wore color, I would get every single shade of these and wear them all day long because they're great. They're the best. $6. Yes. A similar competitor is going to be the NYX Fat Oil. Again, this isn't clear. I'll swatch it for you, but it's clear. This, I would say, is just a touch stickier than the e.l.f., but still really, really good. Still has like nourishing products in here, so it's gonna feel nice on the lips. Just a tiny touch stickier, but I would say very similar. Both good. The last lip product that I want to talk about is the e.l.f. Pout Clout Lip Pen. I kind of grew into this. Like, it's got like a little bit of a cooling effect to it. I can't remember if I liked it on initial application. It's got like a little bit of a minty feel to it, but it's not goopy, it's not heavy. It feels moisturizing. I really like this, and I'm sure it's really affordable. I'll put the price on the screen, but it's e.l.f. Like, yes, we love e.l.f. Last but not least, I want to talk about some brushes. So let's just dive right into these. So first is the Sonia Kashuk Pointed Blush Brush. This is so soft. I like to apply powders like setting foundation with this because it's just so soft and it just pounces, and it's so big, so it just pounces right all over the face. Gets in there, gets the job done. It's got this like gold handle to it. It feels like expensive. The bristles are so soft. You're gonna see that I just love soft bristles. Who doesn't? And you can pick this up at Target. So really enjoying this brush. Another Sonia Kashuk brush is the buffing brush. This one's a little bit more dense, and I love to blend out foundations or creams like concealer, things like that with this, because it's got that dense like dome top shape to it. Again, really sturdy handle, feels very expensive, and it's really soft, so I can really like take a little bit of product and just work it all over the face. Love it. Next is the e.l.f. powder brush. I don't love this like clear handle, but I love this like when I'm done, like when I'm doing like all powders. So I'll do like my powder concealer and my powder bronzer, all that stuff, and I just want to blend everything together and just like mesh everything together. I will take this and just pounce it all. Like, look at how big it is. Like, I can like pounce this and get everything together like this and just blend it all together, and it becomes seamless. So I love this, and especially for the price. We all know the Sigma Soft Blend Concealer Brush. I love this. It's so, so soft. Love going under the eyes. I'll do this, I'll highlight. I cannot get enough of this brush. I love this brush. If they stopped making this brush, I would cry. Like, and if this broke and I couldn't find it anymore, I would literally cry. Next is the Real Techniques Pointed Blush Brush. I like this for bronzer. It's not my absolute fave, but I really, really like it. Like, I'm on the hunt for like a really good bronzer brush. I like this because it's got like that like little pointed tip. So you can like, and then it'll spread out the product, and then you can kind of swipe. I do like blush brushes for bronzer for whatever reason. And this is definitely a good one. It's up there. We found the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush this year. This is another brush that I like to blend out like foundation or concealer, things like that, similar to the Sonia Kashuk. Kashuk, I don't know how to say her name. I never have known how to say her name. But again, very soft bristles, so you can take a little bit of product and like really work it around the face, and it's not gonna like pull and tug and like poke. So I really like that. And this is more affordable than this Sonia Kashuk. I think I'll put the price on the screen, but we love an affordable brush, and it definitely has like the similar shape, and it has like similar effect to this one. So the blending eye brush, I was considering not putting this in here, but this is what I use my nose contour with. You can use any eye brush that has like this like tip like this, but I just love the way that this is so soft, and I can just get in here with my nose contour and kind of bring it into the crease a little bit. So I love this brush. I love this brush. But you could use any eye brush really for your nose contour, but I just honorable mention for this one. The last brush that I want to talk about I just found is the EcoTools Full Complexion Brush. I love this for powder foundation. It is so soft, and it's not too dense, but it's dense enough where you can just like really like buff powder foundation into the skin. So that's what I'm looking, and it's got this like fat handle, which is really cool. And the bristle is just so soft, so silky. Love it. So silky, I love it. Okay, I think I covered everything. I don't know. This video is probably going to be a million hours long, and I apologize for that, but I wanted to get it all done in one shot. And so, yes, I think we covered everything of all my favorites for the year. Thank you so much for chilling with me, hanging out with me, and sticking through all of this. Hopefully, this was helpful. Leave me in the comments below what your favorites are because I would love to explore more makeup in 2025 and find other great products, and you guys have great suggestions. So I would love to hear from you what your favorite products of 2024 are. I will have all of these products linked down below in the description box. So if you want to pick any of them up, it will be easier for you to find them and shop them. And yes, I hope you had a great 2024. And here is to 2025 being a great, prosperous year for everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. And here's to 2025. All right, bye.